Hi, I'm Dan, and this is Puzzle File. It's Halloween time, and I've got a special spooky plan for this video. The puzzle we're going to be doing today is actually a 3D puzzle. This is the Victorian house by Puzz3D. Puzz3Ds were hugely popular in the 90s, and this one came out in 1994. I got it on eBay. I actually never got into the Puzz3D craze back in the 90s. I did my first ever Puzz3D just a couple months ago. It's the Notre Dame that's sitting behind me. But I really like these because it gives you this great combination of puzzling and model building. And today I'm going to take that model building aspect and kick it up a notch, because after I'm done building the puzzle, I have a bunch of different ideas for how we can adapt it to turn it into a really spooky haunted house for Halloween. So this puzzle has 700 pieces. The box says that it is extra challenging, and I've actually already finished building it, so let's take a look at how that went. Okay, let me show you what I got. Over here is just the teal siding of the house, the plain ones. This is all roof pieces. This looks like it's going to be the hardest section to put together. This is teal siding with doors and windows in it. This is a bunch of like special shapes and decorative pieces and the chimney pieces. Then we have the grass and the foundation of the house. These are just some textures I pulled out that jumped out at me. Some plain teal walls without siding that are sort of down at the base of the house. And then these blue pieces are the tread of the porch. Now the puzzle I'm discovering is not in perfect condition. It looks like whoever assembled this previously wasn't very careful taking it apart. So there's a bunch of pieces with like damaged connectors like this one. And then it also looks like either a dog or a young child chewed on some of these pieces. So we have a good handful of mangled pieces like this. So I'm hoping that we can just kind of work these defects into the decrepit look of our haunted house. I think this will actually work in our favor once we get to styling the house. So the way these Puzz3Ds work is you first are going to assemble everything in flat panels. Like each wall is going to be assembled as its own little puzzle, and then you put all the walls and roofs together. So the first step is all two-dimensional, and then we 3D it. I think I'm going to start with some of these smaller sections, and I'll probably leave these roof pieces for last because this looks really difficult. There's not a lot of detail to help us there. Okay, so all of our two-dimensional panels are assembled now, and we're almost ready to put it together into the 3D house. But there's a couple things that I want to do while we've got it in this nice, flat, easy to work on state. So the first thing I'm going to do is use my X-Acto knife to cut out all of the window panes. So at the end, I'm gonna light the house from the inside and all the windows will be glowing. The windows all have these stained glass panels above them, and I thought about cutting those out and trying to like recreate the stained glass with cellophane, which would look really cool, but I would also be working on it till Thanksgiving. So I'm not gonna do that. We're just gonna cut out the window panes and maybe some other little cracks where I want light to bleed through. And then the other thing I want to do right now, once it's built, I'm going to use a black wash to sort of tone down all of these bright colors. But right now I'm just going to add some little details, cracks and cobwebs and things. And also I need to kill all these plants somehow. So we're going to do something to make these look like they're dried up and dead. All right, this house has a ton of windows, so let's get started. Okay, so all of the windows are cut now, and we've killed off all of the landscaping. So I'm feeling ready to assemble this thing, and we're going to work on the rest of it in 3D form. Okay, our house is complete. I think it looks great. I was really impressed with how thoughtfully designed it is, how many interesting dimensions and details they got into this house. And I was surprised how much spookier it makes it look already just by removing all those yellow curtains from the windows. So all we have to do now is really ramp up the creepiness on this. I picked up a few things from the craft store to help us out with this. I've got some kind of scary looking foliage so we can make some bushes and trees. I found this bag of some different kinds of moss that can grow on things, add some texture. I picked up some chains, which I'm not exactly sure what I'm planning to do with, but I thought maybe just hanging them on a wall or something, add another little texture to it. I got a little bowl of gravel that I picked up out of my driveway, throw some rocks in there. But the first thing that we need to do before we get to any of that is finish painting this. So for this part, I'm going to be using black acrylic paint mixed with a lot of water to make it very thin. And we'll be applying it in thin layers all over the house to just bring these bright color tones down, make the whole thing look grim and dingy. The reason I didn't do this step while it was still flat and two-dimensional is because I want that wet paint to have the opportunity to really seep into the cracks and corners to add a lot of shadow and contrast. All right, let's do it. This was a really fun project, and I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. It's the kind of thing that I think you could really just keep working on forever, adding more and more little details. But the bag of mosses was definitely my MVP here. Once I started adding the mosses to it and seeing all the different ways I could use it and seeing how great it looked, I kind of abandoned a few of the other ideas I had and just focused on adding a bunch of really great texture with this. I am pretty pleased with how it turned out. All that's left is to light it up and look at the final product. I hope you all have a very happy Halloween. Please consider subscribing to my channel before you go. Now I'm gonna get back to puzzling, and I'll catch you all next time.